You guys ever used any of these hot cocoa spoons? This is a salted caramel hot chocolate marshmallow spoon. You spin it around in some hot milk. I'm using oat milk because, of course, always use oat milk. And in 2 to 3 minutes, I'm going to be enjoying some hot cocoa. Anyway, welcome everybody to Cobwebs Live, the live show on the Cobwebs channel. My name is Daniel. Thank you so much for being here. I was really wanting to do a live stream before Christmas because I wanted us to just hang out, talk, be festive, maybe talk about some Christmas stuff, maybe not. But I wasn't sure if I was going to do it because I didn't have like a topic, and I'm very nervous about going live without a topic. But then today, this package came in the mail. This is a package from one of my subscribers who I've been in contact with. Apparently, he was getting rid of a lot of his movies and he wanted them to go to a good home. So he sent them to me. He said, I have a good idea of what's in there, although I'm not sure I remember everything. He sent me like long lists and pictures, and I picked things. Anyway, I am super excited to dig into this amazing Christmas gift because that's really what this is, right? It's a Christmas gift. And I'm excited to do this Christmas live stream, open up a Christmas gift, drink some hot cocoa when it's ready, and hang out with you guys. Talk about some Christmas topics, whatever it is that you guys want to talk about. I'll let you guys drive a lot of the conversation. But with all that said, let me go ahead and hop over to the chat. We've already got 14 people in here. That's honestly pretty awesome. We got Ben in the house. He says, watched Christmas in Connecticut last night. Fantastic film. That's awesome, dude. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, for those who don't know, I recommended Christmas in Connecticut on my top 10 black and white Christmas movies video. So I'm really glad you enjoyed it. That's awesome. I feel like the light is like too bright on me. I'm going to scooch that back a little. That's better. Yeah, that looks better for sure. Don't do it. It's a trap. The hot cocoa spoon? What's wrong with it, man? I think it's going to be awesome. I'm super excited. All right. Oh, we got Thomas in here. What a time to be alive. Frycheck. I'm going to guess Thomas Frycheck always comments my videos. He says 10 out of 10 fry checks, and I always appreciate it. Always nice to be 10 out of 10. Heck yeah, dude. Hot chocolate spoon. Jaden Christopher. Hey, thank you so much for dropping by. What's up, man? I'm just enjoying the Christmas season, or trying to, for sure. I hope you're doing good yourself. Good evening from Wayne Butler. How's it going, Wayne? Just finished Better Watch Out right before the stream. Nice. That is a recent Christmas horror movie that came out a few years ago. I think it originally went straight to Shudder, and it's pretty good. It's kind of like a reverse Home Alone, but home invasion kind of thing. Very Christmassy. Pretty good stuff. Fry check. Right on, right on. Just watch Godzilla -1. Man, dude. I want to see that so bad. I've heard such great things about it. And I'm not the biggest like kaiju fan, Godzilla fan. I was when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I was super into Godzilla, but that's not really a love that's followed me throughout my whole life. And I don't really like those Legendary Pictures, those Godzilla movies and Godzilla versus Kong. I like Kong Skull Island. I like that one, but I've heard Godzilla -1 is amazing. That's a Japanese film, and I really, really want to see it. We got 15 people in here. Thank you so much for dropping by. Go ahead and hop on into the chat. Let me know you're here. But I want to go ahead and launch into a channel update. I just want to officially announce here on this live stream that Cobwebs is now on Patreon. This is something that I've been thinking about doing for a long time, like even before the YouTube channel, back when I was just doing a podcast. Always been toying with the idea, never felt right, never was sure what to do with it. But I went ahead and jumped in. So the Cobwebs channel is on Patreon. There's a link in the description. It's $5 a month, and you get extra content. As far as what extra content, I've already posted one video, and it is unboxing this, the Severin Danse Macabre Volume 2 box set. This is something that I'm going to watch through, and I plan to review here on the channel, but I thought I would do an unboxing ahead of time. So that is on Patreon, along with a thrifting haul. I got a pretty cool stack of stuff from going out thrifting the other day. And the second Patreon exclusive video is posting tomorrow, and that is reviewing 2 new horror movies, new possession horror movies, Exorcist Believer and When Evil Lurks. I just checked both of those out on streaming, reviewed both of them on Patreon. That's dropping tomorrow morning. So all that to say, I feel like that's what I'm doing with the Patreon, which is kind of doing videos that would be fun to do, that I enjoy, but I don't really feel like fit on the Cobwebs channel. I'm pretty careful about curating the Cobwebs channel, and I want it to be a certain kind of vibe. I want it to have certain kind of videos, and like I don't do a lot of reviewing new releases, and I don't do a lot of unboxings sometimes, but not that much. So those are both on Patreon. So as always, if you subscribe, if you watch anything, I appreciate your support. But if you want some extra stuff and you want to throw a little extra support, check me out on Patreon. We've already got 5 people over there, which I'm just super, super thankful for. So just want to announce that here on the stream. Jaden says -1 is worth seeing for sure. I haven't seen many Godzilla movies, but I saw this with my girlfriend in theaters. Right on, right on. Yeah, it's hard for me to get out to theaters this year for sure. I've been to theaters way less than I used to in the past, but so I don't know if I'll make it in theaters, but definitely when it hits home, I will for sure check that out. Hey, thank you so much, Mysterious Unknown Revealed. I appreciate that. Yeah, it is pretty cool. Awesome Nutcracker. Yeah. Funny story about this. I have always loved the aesthetics of nutcrackers for Christmas decorations, Christmas nutcrackers. I've always enjoyed that. I've never had any. I've never actually incorporated any nutcrackers into my Christmas decorations, but I thought this is the year. So I bought this guy, love him. I bought a nutcracker Christmas ornament. He's on my Christmas tree, and I'm digging it. He's going to be my little buddy for this live stream. What's in the box? Yes, I'm going to get to that in just a second. Hello, Sheena. You're looking festive as hell. Heck yeah. That's the goal. That's the goal. Let's see how this hot chocolate's doing. All right. Chocolate's still melting. I'm going to give it a little more time. Stir that around. Oh, we got a lot less on there now. This is really, really exciting, YouTube. I'm going to give that another minute. All right, guys. I don't think I have anything else to discuss until jumping into this package. So I think now is the time. Got a knife here, and I'm going to go ahead and dig in. Yeah, I am just like so thankful for this guy. What a nice guy. He says that he like runs a store or something like that. So he just always has a lot of extra stuff and want the stuff to go to a good home. So I'm just super appreciative. Let's see what we got. Oh, yes. Oh, looks like we got a letter. I don't know that I'm going to read it, but I'll just take a quick look. Oh, that's so nice. Basically just says he loves the channel. I mean, his 2 boys are always excited whenever I post a new video. Thank you so much. I just really, really appreciate that. Really appreciate the support and that you watch and enjoy. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate it. Hey, thank you for that. Yeah. Love physical media, man. I feel like right now I'm like swimming in Blu-rays because I just got my Vinegar Syndrome haul in. So I got that to watch through. Got that Severin box set. Got this. My Kino Lorber sale haul is just got shipped. By the way, the Kino Lorber sale got extended through Friday. I just saw. And for that, I got 7 Blu-rays for only like $65. Just crazy good deal. That's pretty good. That's not amazing. It's not the best hot chocolate I've had, but that's pretty good. Cool. Yeah, I've just got so much stuff that I need to watch. Do you like the movie Salem's Lot 1979? Yes, I do. That's Tobe Hooper. I'm a big Tobe Hooper fan in general. I love 70s vampire movies. Actually, good place to announce this. Last month, I did a list video, my top 15 Dracula movies, and I said that was the beginning of a series of vampire list videos. The next one will come in January, and it is my top 15 1970s vampire movies. I thought the 70s deserved its own decade. There's just so much good vampire stuff in the 70s. And Salem's Lot, I'm sure will make it. It's really, really good. Good TV movie. When I first saw it, I think I thought it was a little slow, which is always what my dad had always said about it. But I actually rewatched it either last October, last September, last spooky season, and just really enjoyed it all the way through. Thought it was really good. Our lifeboat and undercover. You see, I'm stalling. I'm saving the anticipation and checking in with the chat. We got 22 people here in the chat. Let me know if you're here. I would love to chat with you just to be able to say hi. Lifeboat. So I assume you mean the Hitchcock movie. Not in my opinion. I love Hitchcock. Absolutely one of my favorite directors. But I don't love all of his movies, and I don't love Lifeboat. That's actually one that I bought on Kino Lorber and ended up reselling because I didn't really like it. It basically feels like a play because it's just one very contained location, a lifeboat, just people talking, and of course all the effects is all just totally green screen, like it's just people sitting on a boat that's kind of rocking back and forth with a fake background behind them. So it doesn't look that good. Doesn't have any particularly interesting stars, in my opinion. I think the most recognizable person to me, I'm probably forgetting somebody big and looking stupid, but was Henry Hull, and he's fine in it. But I'm not a big fan. Under Capricorn, I don't know what that is. So yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Lipo might be going out of print. Maybe I should have waited to resell it. No, I'm not a scalper. Not a scalper. Don't miss Girl Walks Home Alone at Night for those vampire flakes. Yeah, I've seen that one. That's a pretty good one. Basically, my idea for the vampire list videos is I started with Dracula, then I'm going to do 70s, and then I think I'll just do top 10 of the 1980s, top 10 of the 1990s, and then I'll probably do a top 15 of like the whole 2000s and 2010s. Excuse me, had a little something in my chest. Yeah, so I'll just do the modern era, and then we're gonna do one giant list video. So vampires is my favorite subgenre of horror. I love vampires, so I knew I had to do something extra big for them. And the reason that I'm not doing a list video for any decades before the 70s is because before the 70s, most of my picks would be Dracula movies, to be honest. There are a few that wouldn't be. There's a few, but not enough to justify it. So I thought I'll just do Dracula for like the older times, and then we'll do 70s, 80s, so on. Soundtrack for Salem's Lot, Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. Not sure. Check out the Japanese disaster movie Deathquake 1980. Okay, I've never heard of that. Maybe tell me a little bit more about it because I'm not sure. Hey, my boy Chris, I'm sad they're leaving physical media. Best Buy? I'm not sure. Yeah, Best Buy is leaving physical media for sure. Chris, thank you so much for dropping in. Chris is my boy, my brother. Not really my brother, but practically. Great dude. Horror and more. Hi, stumbled upon your channel a few days ago. Sweet content. I too am a horror channel mostly. LOL. I am also a horror channel mostly. I didn't used to be quite so horror focused, but two things happened. One, there's a superficial reason and a non-superficial reason I become much more horror focused. The superficial reason is the horror stuff is just the most popular. Like it just definitely gets the most views by far. But the non-superficial reason is I really have lately, I'll like practically all I want to watch are horror movies. Like I used to be a little bit more diversified. I think what happened is my son was born within the past year. I just became a dad, and I'm so nostalgic about spooky stuff, Halloween, horror from my childhood, and like having a kid is a very nostalgic experience. And ever since then, like mostly what I want to watch are horror movies, which is probably a weird reaction to having a kid, but it's kind of happened. So yeah, horror channel mostly. But I'm definitely gonna have to check out your stuff, horror and more. Everybody hop on over and check her out. I think her, I'm not sure, but that's a small picture, but I'm pretty sure. I love horror collecting. Used to collect 8mm Super 8 film for my projector. I had the Wolf Man, and it was a 20-minute film reel. Oh my gosh. In theory, I would love to collect those. I think it'd be so cool to have a projector, old school thing, run film. That is not feasible financially for me at this point. Cause like, I mean, I probably could like buy a film reel if I like didn't buy Blu-rays for a couple of months or something, but I don't want to do that because I just love consuming lots and lots of movies. And I don't know where I would put all the stuff, to be honest with you either. There's space concerns. In theory, maybe one day that'd be cool, but not at this point in my life. Ben always listens to the soundtrack for Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, or Girl Walks Home at Night. I can't remember what exactly it is. Right on. I don't actually remember the soundtrack. Can you one day do a review on the movie Crashed Guaranteed? It lives up to its name, 1972. Crashed Guaranteed. I don't know what that is. You know what? I'm just going to give it a quick Google. Check it out. Yeah, maybe I don't understand. I don't see a movie like that, so maybe I'm misunderstanding what the title is. Oh, just Crash, 1972. I know Crash by David Cronenberg, and that Crash that won Best Picture. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing such a movie. I'm not sure. Interesting. Another live, great. Yeah, heck yeah. I actually got a message from somebody recently that was wanting me to do more lives. So, and I was really wanting to do a live this week. So getting this package in the mail was kind of a perfect opportunity. Favorite horror movie? Mm, it's here's the thing. It's probably Fright Night. I often say Fright Night is my favorite movie just because it's just like the most entertaining thing I've ever seen. The original, of course, from 1985. But then also if you consider Jaws, Jaws is very much up there. But I don't personally really consider Jaws a horror movie. I know it technically is, but if I'm in the mood for a horror movie, I don't put on Jaws. If I'm in the mood for like an intense action adventure blockbuster, I put on Jaws. So it kind of depends on how you feel. But then also Bram Stoker's Dracula from Francis Ford Coppola, one of my absolute favorites. The Wolfman from 1941, one of my absolute favorites. Nightmare on Elm Street. So I have a lot of favorites for sure, but I'd probably say Fright Night for now. Scroll up on the comments to my challenge. His challenge? I'm scrolling, man. I don't see it. I'm confused. You're confusing me, dude. What do you think of Twins of Evil? I love Twins of Evil. I'm a huge fan. I think it's so much fun. I often call it a kitchen sink Hammer movie because they just throw so much stuff into that movie. Like it's got vampires, it's got witchcraft, it's got witch hunters, it's got like devil worship and satanic rituals. Like it's just like a full core amalgamation of just so much stuff. Hammer film, part of the Karnstein trilogy. I think it's probably my favorite from the Karnstein trilogy, but I need to rewatch The Vampire Lovers. Maybe that is. I'm going to rewatch that trilogy before I make that 70s vampire movie because I think that trilogy is probably going to kind of dominate. I love the Karnstein movies. Heck yeah, Fright Night rules. Maybe one day you can review Repulsion. Yeah, sure. I have never seen Repulsion, actually, so I do know I need to check it out. Hi, recently got the Mexico Macabre box on your recommendation. It is excellent. Yes. Hello from England at 2:16 a.m. Thank you so much for dropping in at 2 a.m. That's very impressive. I would not tune into my channel at 2 a.m. That's very nice of you. Yeah, I am like obsessed with that Mexico Macabre box set. It's my favorite Blu-ray release of the year. Really glad you enjoyed it. Jaws is such a masterpiece. Yeah, it is. One of my absolute favorite. One of my favorite movies from when I was a kid. If you want to know a kind of funny story about my childhood with Jaws, check out my top 9 movies that made me video. It was a part of like a challenge that the Rat Pack podcast put out. In that video, I tell kind of a funny story about my history with Jaws. Jaws is totally an abstract animal horror. It's an animal attacks horror movie. It's weird because like if you say like most other shark movies, that's a horror movie. I'm like, yeah, totally. But it's almost like Jaws transcends the genre to me. I don't know. Like I said, it's kind of a feeling thing. If I feel like watching a horror movie, I will never put on Jaws. When I feel like watching action adventure blockbuster intense thrill ride, that's when I feel like putting on Jaws. Or just like a summer movie. That Hot Cocoa is definitely okay. It's not amazing. Killer Shark, front end channel as well. Yeah, I would never argue with someone who calls it a horror movie. For sure. Bela Lugosi Dracula is my all-time favorite movie. Oh, that's so awesome. I love that movie. That's the movie that got me into horror as well. I've often said that's the first movie I can remember being obsessed with as a kid. I got super into the Universal Monsters. And at this point, my favorite Universal Monsters movie is The Wolfman. But when I was a kid, it was Dracula. And I was Dracula for Halloween most years. For Halloween, I was usually Dracula or Batman. So come some kind of a bat character. What's your opinion on Klaus Kinski? I love his work. Yeah, I love Klaus Kinski. Let's see. I love the Nosferatu remake that Werner Herzog did, starring Klaus Kinski as Dracula. Love that. Love him in The Great Silence. Amazing Italian Western. Amazing. Good winter, snowy movie. Good for this time of year. I also last year sometime I checked out, I believe it's directed by Jess Franco, but the Jack the Ripper movie starring Klaus Kinski. Jack the Ripper is a very scary, Klaus Kinski is a very scary Jack the Ripper. And that's a really messed up, disturbing, weird movie. One of these days I want to do a list video on like ranking Jack the Ripper, not adaptions, because it's kind of a real thing, real murders, but people don't actually know if they're all done by the same guy, Jack the Ripper. It's an interesting real life story. Have you seen Scream of Fear? One of my favorite Hammers. Absolutely. Good thriller. I believe Christopher Lee said that was his favorite Hammer movie that he did. And I don't agree with him on that, but I do really like it. It's a good, gaslight thriller. Hammer made a lot of thrillers where it's like, oh no, I'm going insane, or maybe people are trying to make me think I'm insane so they can get my inheritance or something. It's kind of one of those movies. Hammer made a few of those. It's really good. I'm in England too. Cool. Nice to see my sleep schedule is the only one that's messed up. Jaws, shark movies, and Exorcist is the possession movies. Oh, absolutely. Like they're both the OG. They're both the ones that kicked off those subgenres. No doubt at all. Check out top 9 movies that made me video. It's a fun one. Yeah. Crash 1977. Okay. I'm going to try again. I'm kind of determined to find this movie. Crash 1977. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's a Charles Band movie. Right on. John Carradine. That sounds fun. I'll have to look into it, man. I'll have to look into it. Nosferatu 1979 is my favorite Dracula film. Good choice. Not my favorite, but really, really good. Really good movie. Since your channel's name is Cobweb, I got to ask what you think of Cobweb. I absolutely loved it. So did I. I actually did a whole video on it, and I was a huge, huge fan. It's my favorite horror movie of the year currently. And I just love how that movie is so creepy all throughout. Every second of that movie just gave me the creeps. And then when it gets up to the big reveal, really, really worked for me. I thought it was really cool. Good, just monster movie horror and awesome Halloween atmosphere throughout that. Yep, Charles Band movie. I love horror because it's always evolving the way we live and the current technology. Yeah. Horror is definitely the genre of modern movies that I'm the most interested in. These days, I feel like I don't watch a ton of modern movies. I love going through old stuff. But most of the modern movies I check out are horror movies, to be honest with you. Everyone thinks I'm nuts for naming it horror movie of the year. Hey, that's awesome. That is, what is, I'm curious what your number 2 is and if that's a more conventional pick, because my number 2 is Talk to Me, which I think is a more normal, like favorite movie of the year, favorite horror movie. And I do love Talk to Me. And I also just checked out When Evil Lurks. And like I said at the top, like I reviewed that on my Patreon and I really like that movie. Spoilers. That's a good one. Oh, cool. Yeah. Glad I was able to point you to that. I think I remember you telling me that. How about Homicidal from 1961? My favorite William Castle. Dude, I love Homicidal. I'm just going to go a Christmas decoration here. I'll just throw that away. Yeah, I got it in this William Castle box set right here. There we go. Homicidal. Huge, huge fan. Basically what this movie is Alfred Hitchcock was somewhat influenced by William Castle to make Psycho because he saw William Castle making these cheap horror movies and they were successful. And he was like, I can do that. So he made a low budget horror movie and it's Psycho. And it's like one of the best movies ever. And then William Castle was like, well, I can do that. So he makes Homicidal, which is kind of his Psycho. Ripoff is too strong, kind of his riff on Psycho. And I love it. Like it's not almost as good as Psycho, but it's like almost as entertaining. Really, really fun. It has a twist reveal that I did not see coming. Like, I don't remember the first time I saw Psycho, so I don't even remember if I knew the twist to that. But this one I saw a few years ago, and the twist kind of shocked me. There's a character in this where I was just like, the whole movie, I was like, what is going on with this character? There's something weird about them. And then it comes to reveal, and I'm like, oh, that is really, really cool. Big fan of Homicidal. Glad you brought it up. Miss Out and Talk to Me. My number 2 is Evil Dead Rise. Yeah, I didn't vibe with Evil Dead Rise, but I wonder if it was my theater experience. It was a little bit weird. I do want to rewatch it because I love the Evil Dead movies. We must keep Cobwebs talking so he never opens the box. Okay, all right. I'm going to pause. You guys keep talking in the chat. I'll come around back to you, but I'm going to start digging into this. Just going to grab this stack here. First of all, we've got Used Cars. This is the Shout Select Blu-ray. This is a Robert Zemeckis comedy, one of his earlier movies. And I've seen this before, didn't own it, obviously. And I really like it. It's good. This movie, one thing that's kind of famous about this movie is it has a stunt that you wouldn't think much of at first. But when you think about the fact that the movie is totally practical, there's no computer effects, anything like that. It's one of the most dangerous stunts like ever committed to film. Like it doesn't look like a Tom Cruise stunt. Like it won't strike you like that. But when you think about it, it's really cool. Anyway, Kurt Russell, really fun comedy. Really happy to have that now. And then the Kino Lorber Blu-ray, The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. I've never seen this movie. I know, crazy. I hear this is such a great 70s classic, starring Walter Matthau and Robert Shaw. Always meant to see it. And I'm kind of guessing the gentleman who sent me this, maybe he upgraded to the 4K, but I'm totally fine having this. And really excited to check it out. Rollerball. This is a movie that this is a Twilight Time Blu-ray. That's cool. Twilight Time, a boutique label that is now out of business. But I have a few of theirs, and now I have another one. I've always meant to watch Rollerball. It's starring James Caan. I love James Caan. He's like one of my favorite 70s actors. And it's kind of a sports movie, but kind of sci-fi, I think. Let me know if you've seen Rollerball. I'm curious. I need to stop saying I'm excited to check this out because that's why I picked all these. I'm excited to check them out. But yeah, Rollerball. One of these days I'll watch that movie. All right, let's go to some more here. Bullet, really good movie. I'm a big fan of Bullet. I love Steve McQueen. This is like one of the just original action movies. It's from the 60s. You know, compared to action movies today, it doesn't have near as much action. But for its time, it was a big stepping stone into the action genre as we know it today. Amazing car chase. Like the car chase does hold up to today. I watched it for the first time just like a couple of years ago, and the car chase still blew me away. Really cool. Just a really just cool movie. The script isn't amazing, I don't think, and doesn't completely make sense, but it's just such a cool vibe, full of jazz music. Steve McQueen is awesome. I love Bullet. This is awesome. Criterion Blu-ray for The Trial. This came out fairly recently. Orson Welles' The Trial. Now, this came out on 4K and Blu-ray. I don't know which one this is. Criterion doesn't make it obvious. Just the Blu-ray. Totally fine with me. I'm kind of cooling on 4K lately, to be honest with you. I don't know. I'm pretty happy with Blu-ray most of the time, although there are some great 4Ks. But yeah, I've never seen this movie. I've heard some weird things about it. You think it's, you know, a classic black and white. I think it's black and white. Courtroom drama, but I've heard the story structure is really weird, and it's just not what you're expecting. Directed by Orson Welles. I think starring Orson Welles. Maybe not. Maybe not. Oh, Anthony Perkins, starring Anthony Perkins. Speaking of Psycho, that's awesome. Really excited to watch The Trial. And just excited to have another Criterion in my collection. It was a gift. Thank you so much again. I hope you're watching. Nightbreed. This is another one that came out on 4K recently. But I've seen this movie before, and I didn't love it, but it's always been a movie I've wanted to revisit. Clive Barker monster movie from the early 90s. I think it's the early 90s. 1990. Yeah, as early as it gets. For me, I think it was just a little too weird, and I don't know if I totally got it. I also don't know if I saw the theatrical or the director's cut. This is the director's cut, which is supposedly a lot better, a lot longer. It's 2 hours long. I don't know what I saw in the first place. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to revisiting Nightbreed. I'll probably revisit it soon because I'm honestly really curious. Okay, so that's the haul for now. There's some more stuff in there, but let me go ahead and hop back to the chat, see what's going on, see what you guys are talking about. Check out the Sharksploitation documentary that came out this year. Oh, that's right. Wasn't that Eli Roth? Didn't he direct that? I think he did. Let me know if I'm right about that. I need to check it out. What do you think of the movie Frankenstein's Bloody Terror and Wolfman versus the Vampire Woman? Oh, I'll tell you what. I just got the Werewolf versus the Vampire Woman in the Vinegar Syndrome sale. So I showed this off in my recent haul video. It's my last video on the channel. And I think that's a pretty fun video. I kind of went nuts with the editing and just threw a lot of jokes in there. Hopefully people enjoyed it. But I haven't seen it yet, but I'm like over the moon excited to watch this because I love Paul Naschy so much. And this is a 4K. So cool that Vinegar Syndrome released that in 4K. And Frankenstein's Bloody Terror, I haven't seen it yet, but I do know about it. It's the first Waldemar Daninsky Hombre Lobo film, Paul Naschy's long line of werewolf movies, his like big franchise. It's the first movie. And from what I've read, it has nothing to do with Frankenstein. There's no Frankenstein in the movie, but apparently the producer or distributor or something, like I don't know why, but he thought he needed a Frankenstein movie. He's like, I need a Frankenstein movie. Give me one. They gave him this and he just named it Frankenstein's Bloody Terror just because he could. That's what I've heard. Let me know if I'm off base. Not a nice, but a day off Thursday. I think the channel's superb, very noble. Hey, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful for how the channel is growing. We just hit 8K recently, 8,000 subscribers. Crazy. I just can't believe it. What's the horror movie you saw much too young? There's several. And I also did a video about this. I did a video on my top 9 movies that scared me throughout my life. So I tell a lot of childhood stories. When I was a kid, I was terrified of horror, most horror. When it came to classic horror like Universal Monsters and Hammer, I loved that stuff. Loved it. I was a huge fan. But anything remotely more modern, I was terrified of. There are some movies that like I just didn't see when I was a kid, but I remember my parents telling me about them. Like my dad, my dad told me all about The Silence of the Lambs when I was a kid. And for years after that, I had a fear of cannibals. Like cannibals was one of my greatest fears. Like I'm going to run into a cannibal one day, a Hannibal Lecter. And so that's a movie that I found out about too young, and I was just scared of the horror section at the video store. But a few movies I saw too young: The Fly, the original The Fly with Vincent Price. The end of that movie that's the most scared I've ever been of any movie in my entire life. This weird movie called Godsend from the 2000s with Robert De Niro. It's where he clones a kid, and it's kind of like Pet Cemetery, except more scientific. And I rewatched it recently, and it's not very good, but it terrified me when I was a kid. And anyway, check out the video on the channel, top 9 movies that scared me. And I have a lot of stories like that there. You've seen the movie Talk to Me. Cool. Yeah, I really liked it. It's a great 70s classic. Never seen it before. You're probably talking about like Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3, I'm guessing. Rollerball's a good movie. Right on. Awesome. Love James Caan. Love James Caan. Bullet's one of the greatest cool car chases in the history of cinema. Absolutely, it does. It deserves all the hype it gets. I got the Universal Classic Coffin collection on my shelf. It is beautiful. That's so cool. I don't have that. I have, oh, it's over there. It's not in reach because I put Christmas stuff up here. The Universal Monsters collection is usually up there. Yeah, I have that 30 film collection, that silver box thing. Taking notes when I watch your videos. Sorry. I'm sorry if I'm rushing through information too fast. Clive Barker's X-Men. Right on. I do love X-Men. X-Men is probably my favorite Marvel property. It's just a shame that the MCU is so dragging their feet on introducing the X-Men, even though they could. Love the random nutcracker just chilling in the frame. That's right. I love nutcrackers. I love the aesthetic of it in Christmas stuff. He's saying hi. Okay, anyway. Director's Cut is fabulous. Almost as much LGBT subtext as Nightmare 2. Almost. Cool. I'm in. Sounds good. Eli Roth did direct a shark documentary. Okay, but it's more of a nature documentary. Interesting. Called Finn. Yeah, you're right. Oh, that's right. I know what you're talking about now. The sharksploitation. Didn't Rebecca McKendry have something to do with that from the old Shockwaves podcast, now Colors of the Dark podcast? I've been listening to her on podcasts for a long time. I don't think I have in a while because they switched podcasts several times. And it's a little bit confusing, but I think Rebecca McKendry had something to do with that. It's on Shudder. Cool. I have Shudder. 4 a.m. in Germany. Thomas, thank you so much for dropping by. Crazy early/late for you. Thank you so much for dropping in, though. I always appreciate you and your comments. 1945's Dead of Night. Absolutely. One of the first horror anthology films, one of the scariest movies ever, in my opinion. Yeah, I like Dead of Night. I'm a huge fan of the horror anthology subgenre. I need to do some videos on it soon, honestly. And I like Dead of Night. I like most of the segments. If I remember right, some segments I'm not a big fan of. But that ending segment with the ventriloquist dummy is awesome. I love ventriloquist dummy horror, doll horror. I'm a big fan of it. And like I was watching the Tim Talks Talkies channel recently. I really like him. I actually got to talk to him on a live stream recently. And he was doing a haul and he got a Talkie Tina doll, like from the Twilight Zone. Do you guys remember that? Talking Tina from the Twilight Zone. You're not being very nice to me, or whatever she says. She tries to kill the kid. He got an actual like replica doll of that, and I thought that was so cool. Anyway, weird tangent, but yeah, Dead of Night's a good one. Kino Lorber has a Blu-ray. I actually don't have it. I need to pick that up. Check out the documentary Machete Maidens Unleashed. It tells the story of the Filipino exploitation era. That's cool. Okay. I'm going to look that up. I haven't seen a lot of Filipino exploitation movies, but I'm interested. I'm kind of in a phase right now where like I just want to seek out like foreign horror from like 50s, 60s, 70s, maybe 80s, like that whole area, just horror from whatever country. That's kind of what I've been interested in lately. Question for the ages. All right, we've got a Christmas question. I appreciate that. Let's talk about Christmas a little bit. Real Christmas tree or fake? Okay, complicated. I love the idea of fake Christmas of real Christmas trees. Um, but I don't have one because man, the fake Christmas trees are so convenient. It's not a new cost every year. You just have it. Plus, my wife has a lot of anxiety about house fires. And I know if we had a real tree, she would just worry about it catching fire all the time. So it's not very realistic for us. When I was a kid, my family went kind of back and forth between fake and real. Now, my dad is really hardcore about real trees always. So he always has a real tree, and we're going over to their house for Christmas this year. And my wife is going to be worried about the tree catching fire. I know she will. I went to a Christmas tree farm that was shut down. They still let me cut it down. Hey, that's really cool. Love it. Talkie Tina, absolutely. Yeah, I looked up that Talkie Tina doll because I don't have a lot of horror collectibles, but I really wanted it. I also kind of wanted to buy it for my dad because he loves Twilight Zone. He loves Talkie Tina. It's like $180. I think Tim Talks Talkies talked about how he got it on a Black Friday sale. So maybe I'll look out for a sale one day. Love horror and Hanna-Barbera cartoons, which I know is a big contrast between the two. I hope that isn't too weird. No, that's not weird. Do you know, you want me to be honest with you? You know what I think my two favorite genres of film are? Number one, horror. Number two, probably romantic comedy. I love romantic comedies, like especially like classic black and white romantic comedies or like 60s, the bright color 60s rom-coms, but even modern stuff. I'm a big fan of the rom-com genre. So I'm all for having very diverse taste. I think that's cool. And I grew up on Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Come on. You know what old cartoons I've been enjoying lately that I'll just like put on with my son? He's 10 months old, so he doesn't really get it. But Scooby-Doo, like the 1960s Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Yeah, I think that's Hanna-Barbera. Love that. Cool. Love it. Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing. And also, like, we have a baby now, so he would be eating pine needles all the time. Like, he just crawls around and tries to find things to put in his mouth. So we have to like clean up choking hazards as much as we can. And yeah, he'd just be eating pine needles, and that's not good. So real tree's not realistic for us now for that reason as well. Silent Night Bloody Night, 1972. Nobody says a real tree ever going to their house for Silent Night Bloody Night 72, Black Christmas 1974. What's your pick? I don't think I've seen Silent Night Bloody Night. I've seen Silent Night Deadly Night. Let me look this up. Yeah, it's 1972 American slasher film. Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to see it. I can tell you like for a fact at this point, like I already know. Next Christmas, I will do an epic list ranking video on my top Christmas horror movies. I've seen a lot of people doing that on YouTube this year, and I'm like really jealous. Like I really want to jump into that conversation and release a video on it too. But I'm holding off because I already put out a big Christmas video. I'm very proud of it. I'll wait till next year. Next year, that'll be my Christmas video. So I'll check out Silent Night Bloody Night before then. There's some other Christmas horror movies I need to catch up with. Like Don't Open Till Christmas. I heard some really good things about that recently. So I'm going to watch that pretty soon as well. But to answer your question, Black Christmas. I think Black Christmas is the scariest slasher movie ever made. It's really like the only slasher movie I've ever seen that I thought was scary. Because I love slashers, but they're not scary to me. But Black Christmas is very creepy, very unsettling. Oh, it's my wife. Don't shade me on your channel. Sorry. I was not expecting her to jump in the stream. This is my wife. Hi, Stephanie. Thank you for jumping in. Hey, I said we also can't get a real tree because of the kiddo. So you can get a Talking Tina or a leg lamp for that price. I'd go Talking Tina personally, but you know, I mean, a leg lamp, it's a work of art, right? Like you got to display it in your window. It's a major award. It's a major award. You gotta have one. Sorry for that. I'm using a voice chat on my cell phone. It picks up the backgrounds because I'm watching your program on my television. Oh, okay. I'm not sure what you're apologizing for, but okay, cool. Thank you for watching me on your television. That's cool. Pelham123 is great. Right on. I'll get back to the box soon. There's more stuff to unbox, but I'm really enjoying going through the chat right now. Love Scooby-Doo. I am a huge Scooby-Doo fan. Like when I was a kid, I loved What's New Scooby-Doo as well. That was the Scooby-Doo show that was on like in the early 2000s when I was a little kid. And I loved that. And I love those Matthew Lillard, Freddie Prinze Jr. movies too. Love them. Eating by Needles, Bill's character. I'm all for it. My kid needs to suffer because of Bill's character, right? When I was a kid, I really loved the Calvin and Hobbes comic strips. I still do. Calvin Hobbes is awesome. And I always loved how anytime like Calvin complained about anything, the dad always said it Bill's character. I'm gonna have to carry that over into my parenting. Speaking of Christmas movies, both Edward Scissorhands' Batman Returns both take place during Christmas. That is true. I mean, I consider Batman Returns a full-on Christmas movie. It's got a lot of Christmas aesthetics in it. And I love Batman Returns. Awesome movie. I love the Tim Burton Batman movie so much. Edward Scissorhands, I've never like watched during the Christmas season. And I think it's because like, while there is snow in that movie at some points, what sticks out in my brain is like the super bright green suburban street with all the colorful houses. And in my head, it's kind of like a springtime image. But you're right. It does take place during Christmas. It does have snow in it. So I should like kind of work it back into my Christmas rotation. Absolutely, I'll watch the new Wonka movie, and I'm excited for it. And I'll tell you why I'm excited for it, because it is directed by Paul King. And Paul King directed the two Paddington movies. And I think the two Paddington movies, Paddington and Paddington 2, are two of the best family films of the past probably 20 years. Because I mean, they're family friendly, kid friendly movies that are very sweet and nice and appropriate for everyone. But they're also just masterfully made films, really well directed, really funny, really entertaining. I love them. So anything Paul King does, I'm down to check out because I think he's a great director. And I've heard really good things about the new Wonka movie. I love Willy Wonka as a whole. I love the original Willy Wonka. Don't love the Tim Burton one, unfortunately. Wish it was good. It's not. But I've heard really good things about this one. And I'm not a big fan of Timothée Chalamet. That was what held me back. But I've heard really good things about his performance. So I'm open to it. Mrs. Cobweb. Oh, boy. Tom and Jerry is my fave. Right on. I just found out there's a Tom and Jerry Willy Wonka movie. So to put those two things together, I've heard it's not very good, unfortunately, but it exists. It's a thing. Mystery Inc. is amazing version. Oh, that's the new one, right? That's on Netflix. I started watching it a while back and I really enjoyed it, but I haven't watched all of it. Yes, Calvin and Hobbes is awesome. We got 27 people in here. Thank you so much for joining. If you haven't yet, hop on down the chat. Let me know you're here so I can say hi. Love Calvin and Hobbes. Remember the character building speech? There are lots of those character building speeches. Hey, that's cool. I actually, when I was a kid, I loved a lot of comic strips. I had a lot of like comic strip book collections. And in addition to Calvin and Hobbes, I also really loved Pearls Before Swine, which I think is still going. I loved that. And the guy who created that, his name was Stephen Pasties. And I did correspond with him by email. I wrote to him to tell him how much I loved it. And he wrote me back. And I thought that was pretty cool. Man, you're throwing out all these obscure movies. I love it. Night of the Bloody Apes, 1969. All right, I'm Googling it. Let's see what we got. Bloody Apes. What a title. They don't do horror titles like that anymore. Little silence for you there. Calm your brains down with all the overstimulation of the world. There it is, Night of the Bloody Apes. Can you imagine if they did a movie today called Night of the Bloody Apes? That looks crazy. Oh, it's a Mexican film. Awesome. I want to check out more Mexican films. Love the Tom and Jerry meet Willy Wonka. Cool. That's awesome. I don't know. I just recently discovered it existed, so I've never seen it. Is Miss Cobweb as big a horror fan as you? No, but she does like it. Like she'll pretty much never watch action movies with me, but she will watch horror movies with me. And we go back when we went to the theaters more often before we had a kid. We went to see horror movies a lot. We like Like last year we saw X and we had a great time just like jumping at all the scares in that movie and the jump scares, and it's really fun. So yeah, she likes horror movies. She loves Fright Night as well. Um, but not as big a me. She's much more a reader. Like I'm obsessed with movies. She's obsessed with books. She reads like 50 to 100 books a year. It's amazing. So a lot of times like I'll watch a movie and she's on the couch next to me reading a book, and that works for us. Night of the Bloody Apes. There used to be a lot of wonderful comic strips. Yeah, I loved him. I loved him when I was a kid. Yeah, he did. Yeah, it was awesome. Hey, we got Ken, Mid-Level Media. Thank you so much for dropping by. Dude, I'm loving your channel recently. I watch a lot of your stuff and loving it. You're doing great work. The Bloody Apes gets 1 out of 10 fry checks. Ooh, brutal, brutal. Yeah, I wasn't as big into the Far Side, but yeah, and I loved Calvin Hobbes probably more than any. I liked Zitz, about like a teenager within his family. I really like that. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones, and Peanuts, of course. 50 to 100 a year. Oh my god, love it. Yeah, I know. What's a must-watch movie every Christmas Eve or day for you? I don't have any because I'm generally just busy doing other things on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, especially Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is kind of a big deal in my family, and we kind of treat it like a party. We dress up nice. We make a lot of snacks and, blast Christmas music, have drinks, and open quite a bit of presents. We open a lot of presents on Christmas Eve, not just Christmas Day. So I usually don't have time to watch a movie on Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, it's usually movies that like we get for Christmas. Like I pretty much my entire life, I always get some kind of physical media for Christmas. It was VHSs, then it was DVDs, now it's Blu-rays. Often watching movies that we get. Like my favorite Christmas memory of my childhood for watching movies was watching Universal Monsters movies. Because one Christmas I got Universal Monsters toys and I got a bunch of the movies on VHS. And we spent that Christmas watching those Universal Monsters VHS tapes, and I loved it. It's one of my favorite Christmases I've ever had. It was so great. I find that by Christmas Day, I'm a little Christmased out. Like I really enjoy Christmas morning, playing that music, opening presents. By afternoon, evening, I kind of want to watch something non-Christmassy. I know that's weird, but yeah, there you go. By the way, man, I've been enjoying your top 15 Christmas movies live stream on your channel. There's some wild actually, I'll tell you what. Do you know what movie I was watching before I hopped on this live stream? Not much of it because I didn't have a lot of time, but was Deck the Halls because you were talking about it. And I've never actually sat down and watched Deck of the Halls. It was on Hulu. So I put it on. And from the little bit I watched, it was pretty entertaining. Danny DeVito, anytime Danny DeVito is in anything, like I'm probably going to have a good time. Whoa, he's moving. Dude, calm down. Calm down. All right. Yeah, I enjoy Zitz. Good comic strip. Now you're making sense and I'm making snacks. Oh, good deal. Get some snacks going. This year I drove 7 hours round trip to get a real Christmas tree. Insanity comes in all forms. That's wild. You had to drive that far. I think there's a Christmas tree farm pretty close to me, actually. And Ben says that's a commitment, and it is. Hello, Chi-Town Bud. Thank you so much for dropping in. Really appreciate it. All right. Sheena says, the thing I love about Hammer horror movies is that the set pieces are stunning. I sometimes pause the movie and just soak in all the intricate background pieces. It's a work of art. Absolutely. I feel exactly the same. I love sets. Sometimes I hear people complain about movies by saying like, oh, it all just looks like a set. But I love that. Like I love set. I think partially it might come from my theater background. I grew up doing theater, building sets and such with the cast. And I love to see a good set in a movie, and Hammer is amazing for that. Man, I'm really loving water right now. That's weird, but sometimes you have a drink of water and you're like, wow, I really needed that. Okay, let's keep going here. This is a really cool one that I'm grabbing right now. Extra. I got Extra, which is a 1980s sci-fi movie, probably one of the sci-fi horror movie, probably one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen. And I'm so happy to own it on Blu-ray now. I remember this movie was really hard to see for a long time. I don't remember how I saw it in the first place. I don't remember what method I used, but it wasn't on Blu-ray at that time. But it came out on Blu-ray a few years ago, and it's got a ton of special features. Really, really cool. And yeah, there it is on Blu-ray. Oh, it's a second sight. Okay, second sight edition. I think that's my second. I think that's my second sight I ever have, because I have Dawn of the Dead, and I think that's it. So yeah, if you've seen Extra, let me know in the comments, the chat, because I need to know who else here has seen that guy get birthed, that have seen the birthing scene in Extra. If you've seen that, you need to let me know. Let's see what else we got. Okay, and then we've got, oh man, look at this stuff. There's like even more stuff than I remembered there being. Okay. Oh yeah, Kino Lorber Blu-ray for Cry of the City. I don't know anything about this movie. I just saw it was a noir film on Kino Lorber, and I was like, yeah, cool. I'll check it out for sure. Starring Victor Mature. I like Victor Mature. He's kind of like 1940s Sylvester Stallone. And it's got a commentary by Eddie Miller, because of course it does. This is a gritty film noir from 1948. If you've seen Cry of the City, let me know. I've never heard of this movie, but I'm down to watch any noir, so I'm happy to have it. Another Criterion, and this is a movie that I've actually wanted to see for a long time, and that is A Night to Remember. This is from 1958. And it's actually a telling of the Titanic story. Before James Cameron's Titanic, there was A Night to Remember. And the reason that I've been wanting to watch this movie is because it's directed by Roy Ward Baker. Hammer fans will know Roy Ward Baker because he made a lot of great Hammer films. He made Quatermass in the Pit, Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde. Gosh, I'm blanking right now. I know he made like a really good vampire movie, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I think he did The Vampire Lovers. Yeah, The Vampire Lovers is Roy Ward Baker as well. And I think he's one of the best Hammer directors. Like Terrence Fisher will always be number one. I think he's probably number two. So I'm really interested to see him do a non-Hammer film, a telling of the Titanic story. And it's only a little over 2 hours, so way shorter than James Cameron's version. 123 minutes, black and white. And it's a Criterion. And it's got the booklet in there and everything. And yeah, just so happy to have more Criterions, honestly. If anybody's seen that, let me know. Oh, we got a comment about Cry of the City. Great noir. Oh, Shelley Winters. Where's a leopard skin quote that is hard to forget. Nice. I like Shelley Winters in noir films a lot. So that's really cool to know that she's in it. Good. I'm really glad to hear that. Awesome film. Night to Remember. Extra. Let me know. Oh man, I love Muppets Christmas Carol so much. If I'm being honest, it's my favorite version of A Christmas Carol. It's probably my second favorite Christmas movie behind It's a Wonderful Life. And the funny thing is, I didn't even see it when I was a kid. I discovered it within the past 5 to 10 years, I would say. And I fell in love with it so much, and I watch it every Christmas. I love the songs. The songs are great. Michael Caine is a great Scrooge. I just love that Michael Caine takes it seriously. That like there's Muppets around, but he lets the Muppets be funny. Michael Caine clearly decided like that's not my job. My job is not to be funny. My job is to be a solid version of Scrooge. And he absolutely is. I love Muppets Christmas Carol. I'm so glad you brought it up. Thanks for reminding me. You're welcome. I think we should all be reminded about the Extra birthing scene from now and again. Yeah, we got another Extra fan. Real sets back in the day are way better than green screens nowadays. Oh my gosh, absolutely. I'm so sick of green screens. So sick of it. Cool. What else we got? Yeah, I'll bet it is. But I'm looking forward to watching it because I love Roy Ward Baker. Oh, you're talking about Muppets Christmas Carol. Awesome. Yeah, I absolutely love Muppets Christmas Carol. Some people may have noticed, but in my my Christmas video that I put out recently, I displayed Muppets Christmas Carol like right up there. I put it up there. Had to give it some props. Cool. Excellent. Best telling of the Titanic story because it's based very, very thoroughly researched book. Okay. Awesome. That's really good to know. This can be very historically accurate. That's awesome. Do you know of any New Year's Eve themed horror films? Yes, I do. I'll grab one right here. New Year's Evil. I actually saw this movie for the first time this September. It was in my September wrap-up video. And I loved this. I got it from Kino Lorber. I honestly wasn't expecting that much because it's an 80s slasher movie I hadn't heard very much about. But I loved it. I thought it was really good. Interesting thing about it is it's like half a normal slasher movie, but then for the other half, we actually follow the killer, like as one of our main characters. And we watch him like, put on different disguises, try to fool people, try to get people alone so that he can murder them. And like watching his process is really interesting and pretty disturbing at times. It's really good. It's a really good horror movie. So I highly recommend New Year's Evil. I would just pick it up from Kino Lorber. It might be on sale right now in the sale. Other New Year's themed horror movies, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but if anybody can remind me in the chat, I would appreciate it. I've never seen We're No Angels. Is that a Christmas movie? Now that you mention it, I think it might be a Christmas movie. Let me know. Okay. Lust for a Vampire. I've got it right over here. Yeah, this is the middle film in the Karnstein trilogy. I'm glad you brought it up because I've been talking about Vampire Lovers and Twins of Evil and not Lust for a Vampire. I've seen it once. I didn't love it. I gave it 2.5 stars on Letterboxd. I remember that. But I remember like it's still that kind of gothic vampire aesthetic that I love. I just was not interested in the story or the characters. But I'm really looking forward to rewatching it because there's not a lot of Hammer movies I've only seen once. So I'm kind of excited that like here's a Hammer film I haven't seen in a long time and don't know as well. So I'm definitely going to watch it before making that 70s vampire video because I would love for a second viewing to be better. I really hope it is. The Happy Time Murders. Isn't that Melissa McCarthy movie with the puppets? I don't know if I'll love that. I don't know if I'm convinced. Rankin and Bass Productions. Oh, heck yeah. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Super nostalgic for me. I haven't seen any of those in a really long time. So I'm kind of excited. One reason I'm excited to now have a kid is like when he gets a little bit older, we'll watch those together. Rudolph, Frosty, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I mean, especially Frosty. I have definitely not seen Frosty since I was a little kid. So I'm looking forward to watching those again. But yeah, Rudolph. I mean, Rudolph's got like one of the greatest soundtracks ever. I mean, you think about all the songs that are from that, not just Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but Holly Jolly Christmas, Silver and Gold, like just great Christmas songs, all from that movie. Okay, qualifies as a Christmas movie. Nice. I want to watch it. I love Bogart. I'm down to watch pretty much anything with Bogart. Little Drummer Boy. I might have seen that when I was a kid. I'm not sure. I never liked the song Little Drummer Boy. The only version of Little Drummer Boy that I like is the Bing Crosby, David Bowie version that's mixed with Peace on Earth. That's great. Other than that, I don't really care for that song. Okay, let's keep going. I've actually got another one here, and this I'm so excited for. The Alfred Hitchcock Masterpiece Collection. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to have this. This has 14 Hitchcock movies. Of course, a lot of them I already have, but not all. So this has got, let's go ahead and just do a little inventory here. Which of these Hitchcock movies do I already have? Here we go. Saboteur. I don't have that. Shadow of a Doubt. I love it, but I don't have it. I don't have Rope. I don't have The Trouble with Harry. I do not have Marnie, Frenzy, or Family Plot. So all of those are most of them I've seen, but I don't own. Frenzy, I've never seen. I've been wanting to watch that for a long time. I've heard it's like really crazy. Basically Hitchcock's Giallo. And then we got Rear Window and The Man Who Knew Too Much. I have both of those. Vertigo I have. The Birds I have. I don't have Torn Curtain. I don't have Topaz. And then I have Psycho. So there's a lot of movies here that I don't own. And I've actually been really wanting to do like a top 15 Hitchcock movies video, but there are some movies of his that I haven't seen, like Family Plot, Frenzy, Topaz, Torn Curtain. So this is a great resource. This will allow me to check out some of my Hitchcock blind spots, and then I'll be able to make that video. I want to see what the packaging is like, so I'm going to go ahead and slide it. It's a really nice hard case. Always make the audience suffer as much as possible. Wonderful. Gotta love it. And then, okay. Oh, looks like they've got individual discs. Shadow of a Doubt. Oh, that's so cool. Now, most all of these have come out on 4K now, but I feel like I'm okay with this, honestly. Those to get all those 4K sets, it would cost me like $150. This was free. I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy. This is just awesome. Trouble with Harry, I love. I discovered that this year. Really fell in love with it. It was in my autumn movies video. Oh gosh, I'm just gonna keep looking through this because I'm just kind of hooked. This is just beautiful. I don't like Marnie. Marnie, I'm not a big fan of. Topaz. Frenzy, I'm really, like I said, really excited to watch. Oh gosh, this is awesome. This is just an amazing, amazing gift. I feel like I'm kind of losing my voice a little bit. My goodness. Okay, we got a little bit more to go through in there. Yeah, we do. But I'm going to go ahead and hop on and back to the chat. We got some support for We're No Angels. Cool. It sure did. It really did. That thing is just so beautiful. I'm so excited. It's got the kind of like European release stickers. So let me see what the regions are. See if it says that. I have a region for free player, so it doesn't matter that much for me. I'm just curious. Let me go and pull a disc out. I can't find it. I don't know if anybody knows like what regions this is. Maybe it's region free because it doesn't say. But like I said, I have a region free player, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just curious. Oh, yes. I love Klaus. That's one of my favorite modern Christmas movies. I couldn't believe it. Like I heard it was good, almost didn't believe it. Then I put it on and I got so invested in that movie. And by the end of it, like got emotional. Like I was so into those characters. I was so invested in that main character's character arc. And I love the Santa Claus character so much. And the animation is beautiful. It's unique. It doesn't just look like, your standard Disney animated movie these days. I'm a big fan. If anybody needs like a good feel good Christmas movie for the whole family to watch that they haven't seen, check out Klaus. Can't recommend it enough. Yes, it is. Requiem for a Vampire. Yeah. That's on my list. I haven't seen it, but that's one that I'm planning to watch before I make that 70s video. I've got some homework to do before I make that video, so it's going to take a bit of time. Definitely a beautiful Hitchcock collection. Hitchcock box set in the shape of a mansion, which is awesome too. That's really cool. That's awesome. Okay, let's keep going. We got stuff in a bag. Oh yeah, this is one that I'm not familiar with, but I Googled it and it looks like the kind of thing I would like. And it's an imprint release, which I don't have much of anything of. And it's The Possession of Joel Delaney. Let me give you a good view of that. There you go. Imprint Blu-ray. It's got a side loading. That doesn't want to come out. It's got a side loading slipcase. Not really slip. There we go. Awesome. Yeah, some kind of a possession horror film. It's got Shirley MacLaine in it. I love Shirley MacLaine. Phenomenal actress. Speaking of Trouble with Harry, this just looks like the kind of thing I will like. It's from 1972. Super into 70s movies. And yeah, let me know if you've seen this because I don't know much about it. I just Googled it and I thought I'll probably like that. So I'll have him put that on the list. Oh my gosh. This is an amazing gift, what I've got right here. I have complained about this on video several times, and he has eased my pain. It's the Class of 1999 slipcover. So I have talked about several times about how I have all the Vestron releases I have, which is a close to complete collection, not complete, but close. All of them have slipcovers except Class of 1999 because I bought it from Diabolic DVD. Diabolic had been sending out a lot of slipcovers, so I felt confident on it. They did not give me the slipcover. And this gentleman gave it to me because he didn't care about it. And gosh, this means so much to me. I know that's so dumb, but like Vestron it's the only boutique label that I'm like kind of I'm a stickler for the slipcovers because I have got all of them They're numbered. They look great in a row. I mean, just look how they look together, right? They look great. And Class of 99 look weird. Now it's got it. I'm so, so happy about that. So I just cannot thank him enough for that. I'm going to put those back if I can. Yep, there we go. By the way, speaking of Vestron, I might as well just show you this too. I did pick up the new Vestron, which is Blue Steel, Catherine Bigelow action film starring Jamie Lee Curtis. I've heard this movie is great. It's a movie I've been meaning to watch for years, but it was pretty much always on like free streaming services, like with ads in poor quality. I never watched it. This is its first Blu-ray release, so I'm really excited Vestron put it out. Yikes! Really excited Vestron put it out, and then I get to watch it in HD. I just love Vestron. I love what they do, so really excited to have it. If anybody's seen Blue Steel, let me know. Oh, we got specifically Blu-rays with Nathan Jones. Hey, man, thank you so much for dropping by. I'm just going through this box of Blu-rays that one of my subscribers sent to me, and I'm just so thankful. It's just so cool. Also, check out the reincarnation of Peter Proud. Man, you were throwing out so many deep cuts. You need a YouTube channel if you don't have one. I'm Googling it. Peter Proud. Okay, interesting. 1975. Yeah. Oh, directed by J. Lee Thompson. I like J. Lee Thompson. That's cool. Yes, OCD is now cured. Well, no, it's not cured. It's just been satisfied. Yep, absolutely. I agree. I've actually never seen the movie. I didn't opened it up because I didn't know if I was going to resell it so I could buy a slipcovered version. But now I know I'm good. Now I know. Class of Nuke Umbrella. I've seen Class of Nukem High. Trauma. It's kind of fun. Whoever slew Auntie Roo. No, I haven't. I've heard of it, though. Let me Google that. I don't know if me Googling things is entertaining for viewers. But here we are. Okay. It's got a good poster. Oh, it says it's a Christmas movie. Interesting. But it looks like kind of a horror movie. Christmas horror movie? I'm going to have to look into that before I make my Christmas horror list next year. Cool. I mainly use iTunes for my movie collection. Watching your videos makes me realize how many movies aren't on iTunes or streaming. I have had to start buying DVDs again. Yes, I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, it's true. So many movies are not available on digital. Like when you talk to people about physical versus digital, they'll say, why do you buy all these like movies? Like you can just stream everything. That's not true. That's not true. You can't stream everything, especially not if you're a weirdo like me and you want to watch a bunch of weird off the beaten path stuff. Got to get it on physical. And I just like having physical media. It makes me happy. I've always loved it since I was a kid. I've always had VHS DVD collections for as long as I can remember. Yeah, Wayne Butler started showing YouTube. I'm in. I'll be your first subscriber. Favorite holiday discovery this year? I'm assuming you're going to mean like a Christmas movie. I haven't watched that much. I haven't watched a lot of Christmas movies this year, to be honest. But I saw this on Amazon Prime. It's a Christmas romantic comedy. What is it called? Something from Tiffany's. It's called Something from Tiffany's. And it's kind of like one of these typical direct to streaming Christmas rom-coms, but it's better. It's better than like pretty much any of them I've seen. It's clearly of a higher quality than most of those. And I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to go ahead and go with that. But my favorite discovery that I watched during the Christmas season is the Paul Naschy movie, Hunchback of the Morgue. I love that so much. I checked that out on, let's see if I can get this out. There we go. I checked that out on Paul Naschy Collection Volume 2. It's the first movie on there, and I loved it so, so much. And it's my favorite discovery of this holiday season. But it's definitely not a Christmas movie by any means. It's true. It's true. Yeah. I'm being terrible. Absolutely terrible. Because Nuke High is awesome. So dumb. Yeah, I'm not the biggest trauma guy, but that's a pretty good trauma movie. I enjoy it. Collecting physical media because it enables me to personalize my bedroom and let people know what kind of person I am. Absolutely. Yeah, I keep mine in my basement, and I just love having a basement full of Blu-rays. I love the aesthetic of it. I love organizing it. It always like blows my mind when someone comes over and they don't immediately like want to look through my Blu-ray collection. Like a lot of people don't care about that. And I think that's weird. Like, why wouldn't you like love this? This is so cool. Home Alone and Bad Santa. I love Home Alone. I think Home Alone is a great movie. I loved it when I was a kid. I rewatched it a lot. But there are a lot of movies that, I loved when I was a kid, but I recognize aren't great movies. But I think one of the first times I rewatched Home Alone as an adult after many years, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a great movie. I think it's great. I love it. I've never seen Bad Santa. Bad Santa is one of those movies that every Christmas season I tell myself I'm going to watch, and I never do. I don't know why. Tell me if I should watch it. Let me know. Never seen Ernest Saves Christmas. The only Ernest movie I have seen is Ernest Scared Stupid, which I enjoyed. But I didn't grow up on Ernest. So I don't know. I just don't know a lot about him. Man, I am thirsty. It's true. This is the crypt of Cobwebs, and it is haunted for sure. And there's a spare room over there, and that's where the coffins are, where the vampires sleep. I kind of, they pay rent, but they get to stay. So it's a pretty cursed basement, but I like it. It suits me quite well. Excellent comedy. Okay, cool. It has Lorelai Gilmore in it, doesn't it? Because one of these days I need to watch those Ernest movies, because I did like Ernest Scared Stupid. I thought it was pretty good. Okay, let's keep going through the haul. Skinner. This is a Severin movie, Severin Blu-ray. I had never heard of this movie, and but I saw it was a Severin title, and I like Severin. I'm kind of a collector of them, I guess. And I Googled it, and it looks pretty good. It had pretty good ratings from people I follow in Letterboxd. It starred Ted Raimi. Sounds like kind of a Maniac kind of a movie. Yeah, starring Ted Raimi. That's pretty interesting. But yeah, always happy to have another Severin title. Let me know if you've seen Skinner. And then we've got the Paramount Presents Blu-ray of Breakdown with the slipcover. Super, super happy to have this. This is my first Paramount Presents movie. This is one thing I knew about the slipcovers that's really cool. Open it up. You got the poster. I have never seen this movie. I've been meaning to watch it for years. I've heard it's great. I've heard it's a fantastic 90s thriller. Almost like a film noir, just in modern day, and starring Kurt Russell, one of my favorite actors. So I'm really excited to watch it, and I can't believe I still haven't seen it. But I'm so happy to have this beautiful, beautiful Blu-ray of it. Let me go to the chat. What's the best Hunchback of Notre Dame movie, do you think? I'm not really a big fan of the Hunchback story. The Hunchback of Notre Dame is one of the few classic horror stories that I'm not that into, because like I love Dracula and Frankenstein and the Phantom of the Opera and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Not that interested in Hunchback of Notre Dame. I haven't seen very many adaptations. I mean, I've seen the Disney one. I think it's overall good. Gosh, is that all I've seen? No wonder I'm not a big fan of the Hunchback story. But I love Hunchback of the Morgue. It's not an adaptation of Hunchback of Notre Dame by any means. But let me know what are really good Hunchback of Notre Dame movies, because clearly I'm just not well versed in it. Yes, absolutely. Because look, my son, who's a baby, he'll eat pine needles. That's good. But he never comes in contact with the vampires. Like the vampires only get up at night. He sleeps at night. So they don't bother him. They don't come upstairs. They just stay down here. So it's fine. Yep. My wife and I are currently going through Gilmore Girls slowly, because I watch a lot of movies, but it slowly we're going through it. And I really like it. It's my first time watching it. I do really enjoy that show. And I do really enjoy Lauren Graham in it. Lauren Graham loves Santa. Good. It's good to hear. Ernest and John Cena? I'm confused. Breakdown's next movie. Yeah, I've heard it's good, but that's great to hear that you love it too, for sure. I'm really excited to watch it. She's not Bad Santa 2? Well, I'm not watching that then. Heck no. 1949, The Rocking Horse Winner is an excellent fantasy drama with a Christmas scene and an eerie vibe. Huh. Man, you guys are throwing out deep cuts. I'm super impressed. Rocking Horse Winner, 1949. Interesting. Fantasy film about a young boy who can pick winners in horse races with complete accuracy. Huh. I'm interested. I'm curious. All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much for dropping in, Sheena. I really appreciate it. We're actually... yeah, we're done with the haul. So that's it. So let me go ahead and I like to just hold up the stack for you guys. This is my Christmas gift. Just unbelievable generosity. I'm just blown away. I'm so excited to have these. Cool. That's awesome. Hey, that's very cool. I love Dial M for Murder. So our taste definitely on track. So I'm really excited to watch Frenzy. They look alike. All right, cool. Hunchback of Notre Dame, 1939 sound film. Oh yeah, I've heard of the Charles Lawton one. Maureen O'Hara. Oh, cool. Yeah, I should watch it. I think inherently I find the story very depressing, and that's why I don't gravitate to it. But I'll check some out. I'll check some out. Absolutely. Anyway, okay. Thank you all so much for joining. I feel like I'm starting to lose my voice, and that was the haul. So excited about this. This was a really fun chat. Thank you so much for dropping by. If you're interested, check out the Patreon. No pressure, of course, but I'm going to be doing some fun stuff over there. Like I said, video dropping tomorrow morning, reviewing Exorcist Believer and When Evil Lurks, 2 recent horror movies. And yeah, I didn't even finish this hot cocoa. It wasn't that great. Oh, well, but I do like this Christmas mug. I do quite enjoy it. Thank y'all so much. Good night, Nathan. And with all that said, don't forget to enjoy the Christmas season. Take some time to just relax and enjoy the holiday. I'll see you later.